G'day and welcome back to my channel. Now it's such a lovely sunny day here that I thought we'd come out to the balcony where I sit here. There's the middle of winter in bloody Australia, but it's beautiful and warm here. Brizzy. It's often 10 degrees warmer out here on the balcony than in the cold hobby room. So I've set up a workbench out here and I've been working on my my wood ships. So anyhow, you may notice I've got a whole pile of kits here. I've got a lot to talk about and there's a lot to tell you. So this will be my workbench and new kits after the solstice. So it's sort of a when Cass. Okay, roll the music. Well, it's such a lovely day here that just about everyone else in the neighbourhood has decided to come out and enjoy the sun as well. My neighbour behind me here has got a bloody electrical tool out. There he is. Yeah, so we'll have to put up with that all the way through, but you know, can't pick it, can you? Normally it's a nice quiet street. Anyhow, what do I talk about first? Well, how about my t-shirt? Right, you haven't seen that. Right, quarantine. Not there's much of that happening anymore. And Smeghead 2020. If you're a Red Dwarf fan, you get the joke, okay? If not, well, suck it up. You can Google that. Alright, I have a big list here. So at the moment, what am I working on? Well, I have been working on the Bounty, right? But not the plastic one. No, that's done. That's finished. Go back and watch a bloody video for that. Okay, this is the wooden one, 1/50th scale. So she is a lot bigger than that plastic Revel kit. Okay, and yeah, it was a bit horrible. The previous owner had made a bit of a mess of the planking, but I have done this side, and you may be able to tell it's a bit smoother. Okay, so I'll be doing a video on how I accomplished the repairs and getting that planking so much better. Well, hopefully things have quietened down a little now because it was getting really noisy there with that angle grinder and all the rest of it. Anyhow, probably have to put up with the odd car, but let's get on with it. Another thing on my bench is the little Italian Fiat, and that's just been held up because of paint. See, the trouble is I'd rattle can sprayed it a couple of years back to get that nice you know, Italian white look, nice and glossy, and that's usually my trick to get a really good gloss coat, was to use the Tamiya lacquer rattle cans. You know, don't like to use lacquer much because of my respiratory problems, but I usually go outside and do that. Now, when I came to do the final assembly, I found there were some drips, some scratches and a few problems with the body shell, so I needed to do some touch-ups, and the rattle can I had, well, over the years, over 2 years sitting around and being transported all over the place, it's turned to snot. It's no good. And I looked everywhere and you just couldn't get it. With the general apocalypse on right now, it was impossible to source that paint again. So I was in a real sort of quandary. But then I talked to the guys down at Hobbyrama and they said, look, have you seen these little bottles, here's a pic, of Tamiya lacquer that you can buy now? So I bought a little bottle of the white, a little bottle of thinner, bingo bongo, I should be able to now get in and do the touch-up on that vehicle without basically using up too much noxious lacquer spray. Anyhow, hopefully that'll keep Jason happy because he's been waiting for that model to be built for him for a couple of years now. Okay, moving on, the Orion spaceship, yeah, from 2001, right? Now, a lot of people dislike the videos. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know, don't think I did anything wrong, but I don't care. That is back on, and I will get that finished. There's a bit of painting to do to get the sort of the effect of all the different panels on it, and then I'm going to get that all finished and lit up, and that'll be probably a video coming up fairly soon. I've got a little Aston Martin. It's a little Matchbox kit. I get it out every now and then when I just want to do a little quick 5 minutes work, not worried about anything because it's a fairly easy kit to work on and it's a lot of fun. So I'll probably get that finished maybe by the end of the year or early next year, and I'll do a video on that. Lovely little kit. The Greek warship, I talked about that in the last video. Now that kit, the box exploded, so I had to do something, and so I started assembling, and I got the basic ship sort of together and then packed everything else into bags and that sort of in storage. But it's one that I probably wouldn't mind getting finished soon because it's not going to be that hard to complete. Now, another kit that you probably haven't seen is the Warspite. I started it 7 years ago. It was the kit that I got when I first came back to the hobby, and it was one from my childhood. I built it. My father had bought it for me because he'd walked the decks of the Warspite. Anyhow, I did the best I could at the time, and I really only had a stable table and a nail cutting kit and whatever, and a couple of rattle cans. I was really just seeing if I liked the hobby again, and I did. So I got that sort of going, and then got distracted with the grass spay and a whole lot of things in Arizona's. And anyhow, I've come back to that kit now, and I sourced a wood deck for it out of the blue. One turned up in an auction sale. So then I've managed to get that, and I basically got some railings for it in 1/600. They're always hard to find. Just got to find the barrels in 1/600, and I'm going to completely refurbish that kit and get it as good as I can. So that's something to look forward to if and when I can find those barrels. The Varyag. Yes, it's been 18 months now since Catgate. Yes, well, there was a crash, a bang, the Varyag had fallen to the floor and the cat came running out of the hobby room. So you put 2 and 2 together and tell me what you come up with. Yes, anyhow, that is going to be one of the next ships that I will do videos on. Okay, so the Varyag, at least metal ships, you know, warships types of things, the Varyag is going to get repaired. I've got all the fix-up parts for it. That is on my bench. It is ready to go, and I'll get onto that very, very soon. Well, that basically completes everything that's on my bench. So now I'd like to talk about the new kits. Now, only a few of them that I actually spend money on. I've been lucky that, well, lucky, I don't know, my stash is exploding. I've received a whole lot of free kits. So let me talk about the ones I paid for first, and then we'll get into the ones that I was given, because, I don't know, people just started giving me kits. But anyhow, look, there was an online sale. Was one of those ones with model nerds? No, Sprue Finders. Sprue Finders had an online sale. And I know the lighting's crap, there's a big stripe through it. We'll call that an artistic effect, shall we? This kit came up, and I just quickly said yes, and I got it for 3 shekels. Okay, 3 shekels is like $20 US. It sells for 5 times that or more normally. But the thing that let this down is basically the box art on the kit is pretty crap. It's not very good at all. It doesn't show how good it is. In fact, I think the guy that built the plastic kit to the photograph there, he wasn't really a shipbuilder, because it's a little bit rough around the edges, and certainly hasn't done all the rigging, and it's just not a very good model. Not if you're going to do ships, you do much, a better effort than that. There are other reboxings for this, and they have, I'll show a pic here, they have much nicer renditions of how the ship can look, because it can be really lovely. So yeah, I picked it up, 3 shekels. Why wouldn't you? For basically a kit that's worth a hell of a lot more than that. It is a 1/200 scale, but this is a big ship of the line, right? So this kit is actually much bigger, about 1.5 times the size of the Bounty that I just built. So it's actually a bigger ship to work on, and it'll be much easier to rig and do things, even though it's a smaller scale. Go figure. And a kit that I had on order for quite some time is this Starfighter, and it's the Luftwaffe version, Kinetic kit, and it's a gold series thing. I don't know, you get a doubloon in it or something. It's a lovely kit. I was really looking forward to it. It's supposedly one of the best 148 Starfighters you can get, and look, there's heaps of reviews online. Everyone else has unboxed this. You can go have a look at them. It's a lovely kit. I am so thrilled to have got that, and yes, I spent my own money on that one. That's one of the few ones I actually paid real money for. This one I picked up from Paul. This is a Mirage. It's a 3, so I can do the Australian version. Yes, we had those, this particular Mirage, so I'll be able to do an Australian version Mirage. And I picked this up from Paul on one of his sales. He recently had some sales, and he picked up a whole lot of kits really cheap. I think I only paid about 3 shekels for this thing or something. Not much at all, right? Not much at all. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have a 148 scale Kinetic Mirage for that? Especially when you can make an Australian version. Now, those are the ones I spent my money on. After that, things got a lot easier, because basically I was just being given kit after kit. There's a fellow who watches my channel, a nice guy. He doesn't really want me to mention him, so we'll call him Dave. And he basically contacted me and said, Harry, I've got this Sabre, and it's got all these stuff in there to convert it to an Australian version, a CAC, right? And I'm getting a bit long in the tooth and a bit old, and I just don't think I could do it justice anymore. Could you build this kit? Would you do that? You can have it, mate, if you build it. And I went, well, okay, I'm sort of interested. It's certainly, I like building Australian aircraft, so that's quite good. Anyhow, I sort of dragged on a week or two, and he said, mate, are you coming over? And I went, oh yeah, okay. He said, well, do you want something else to build as well? What do you like? And I said, well, I'm into ships. He said, oh, well, would you like one of these? Yes, this is a mighty kit. It's a wooden kit, right? And it's huge. It's about 1 metre long when it's built up. Australian company too. What are they called? Model shipyards or something? Or shipyards, right? Model of Shipyard. And it is an absolute beautiful kit. I'm going to do a review on this kit so you can see what it's like, see what's in the box. It is absolutely superb, and I will be building this very soon, because yeah, I promised I would build this for my friend, okay? Because basically he gave me this, and he gave me a some plank bending tool and a keel holder thing, a whole lot of stuff. Lovely guy. He said, you can have all this stuff, just build it for me please, do the videos. So I am going to do those. But thank you very much for those kits, and it's been a while now since you gave them to me, but I'll be doing reviews on both those kits, proper reviews, and I'll be starting on that Brig very, very soon. I just wanted to experiment and learn a bit of planking on that Bounty first, because although I've done similar things, I've never planked an entire wooden ship. So that's why I was working on the Bounty. I want to teach myself planking, learn the ins and outs. Wasn't too worried with that kit if I kind of, you know, ruined it a bit. It had already been ruined. Could always strip it back down and do it again. So that's the thing. It was a kit that had been buggered. What are you going to do? If you bugger it, you just fix it again. But that Perseverance Brig, that is by an Australian model maker. The, what is it? Modeler Shipyard, right? They're actually an Australian model maker. So I'm very interested to share with you the quality of that kit and the way the instructions are. There's no giant plans in it, right? Those other kits that I've reviewed, well, I think I've only reviewed the Constructo, but the other kits I've got all our big fold-out plans, which are one-to-one, it's a big scale, right? And that's how you build it. This is kind of clever. It's all in a big booklet with photographs. It's beautiful. It's almost a standard of those Okra kits, okay? But more of that later. I also ordered an Okra kit, but I'll talk about that next time. These are all freebies. Now, this one I kind of paid for. It was on sale. Good old Paul, he's kind of shut down his current shop, but he's building a whole new shop. And I'll tell you what, when he opens up that shop, I'm going to do a live in-store broadcast. Yes. Hope you don't mind, Paul. But yeah, last stand, here we come. Yeah. Anyhow, he had this particular, it's a 1/32 scale mesh of Schmidt, right? Okay, now I've got a few, and I had two E4s, I think. Yeah, two E4s in the stash. Went, don't really need two of them. If I could sell one of those E4s at a reasonable price, you know, and then get this off Paul at the discount, well, I kind of, it would cancel each other out. I've got a free kit. Well, I've just got a replacement kit for my cassette. So I did. I got this one. So this is really nice. And I can do this one as Japanese. Yeah, there were a couple of Japanese Meshi Smiths. So I could do that. Lots of possibilities. Pretty excited about that. And there you go. Now, the Becker, right? The Becker says to me, you've got that Zvezda Dreadnought, haven't you? You happy with it? I said, oh look, it's okay, I got it for a good price, you know. Comes with a whole Pontos kit, which is going to be a huge lot of work to do, but at least it's, you know, wood deck, barrels, and everything's photo etched to try and improve the Zvezda kit. He said, well, I thought you liked Trumpeter. I said, yes I do. And he said, look, I've picked up in a sale this Trumpeter Dreadnought, thinking that you would like it. And he picked it up for like 6 shekels, which is about half the new price. He said, tell you what, you can have it if you manage to sell your old Zvezda kit, then pay me the 6 shekels. So I put my old Zvezda kit online for half the price it would have been new, with the, like it's a 15 shekel, 150 Australian dollar upgrade kit plus the kit and all the rest of it. So I put it online for about half the price, sold straight away. No one even balked. I mean, you know, so I was able to pay Becker, make a profit, and get this kit. I actually ended up probably getting a free kit. Well, I had to go make a coffee. The bloody battery went flat, can you believe it? And so we had to charge up the battery. Of course, during that time, there wasn't a peep to be heard from the neighbourhood. Nobody made a sound. Of course, I plugged everything back in again now to make your video. I don't know. I think they're all spying on me. They're going, yeah, he's been recording. Right, everybody make noise. Yeah. Anyhow, well, we were talking about this, right? You know, just to finish up. So I had the Zvezda kit, and that had a full Pontos with it. If you don't know Pontos, fantastic. Everything, like it had brass masts and brass barrels and every single conceivable thing. Everything was photo etched. It would have been fantastic. It would have been a huge job though. And so it would have been a kit I would have put off for quite some time, because it just would have been a lot of work to do. But that's gone. I've got this, and I didn't expect that when we opened up the box to have a look inside. You get the kit, yes. They're brass barrels, well, metal barrels. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Wood deck, fantastic. And not only that, which is what I was quite amazed about, I'll find it eventually, is photo etch. There's a whole ton. I mean, the kit has photo etch, but there's some railings. I think they're the ones that came with the kit. But the full Edward, extra railings and extra bits, which is enough that I would do without going crazy. I mean, I don't like to have to do everything as photo etch. I think that's absurd. So there is now the kit with all the extras I need, and essentially I only paid 6 shekels for it, but I sold another one for a bit more than that, so really I ended out in front. Alright, so that was a good find. Oh. Alright, so these are sort of free kits really, and well, you should have seen the review I did on the Fiume, right? Fiume. Apparently it's supposed to say Fiume. Alright, so the Fiume. There's a review with that and the Polar, so you can see the difference between the two models, and like 20 years apart, and how much things have improved, the old High Boss kit to the new Trumpeter kit. I'll probably put a link at the end of this video so you can see that. But yes, have a look at that. The difference is remarkable. The Polar kit is still buildable, it's not too bad, but it's old, and it needs, well, if you want to get it up to the standard that I sort of like anyway, you'll need to spend quite a bit of money getting, you know, railings and photo etch and this and that and decks and everything, and then do a whole lot of scratch building for all the mast legs that are missing. Alright, I've left the best until last, okay? So Becca is so happy that I've paid him for that that kit of the Dreadnought. I forgot what the bloody hell it was. Oh, goodness me. It's been so long, my moustache is untwirled. Just have a sip of coffee. I can't believe this morning. Normally I would shoot this in like about 15 minutes and then just spend a couple of hours editing everything and out it go. I've been on this video for 3 hours now. That's due to my animals in my neighbourhood making so much bloody noise. Okay, so the Becca is very happy with me because I have paid him back for that Trumpeter kit, and I helped him out with some other stuff, helped him with some lighting problems, all the rest of it. And he bought a kit here in Brisbane for virtually nothing. He managed to, you know, purloin a kit, and then decided he didn't want it, so he gave it to me. Do you know what this is? This is like a holy grail kit. This is the Dragon Scharnhorst, right? I know Trumpeter will be bringing one out soon, I'm sure it'll be fine, but this Dragon Scharnhorst is the duck's nuts. The kit has just about everything in there that you need. I mean, it's all there. It already comes with photo etch, and it's beautifully detailed. You know, Dragon stuff is incredible. This is a wonderful kit of the Scharnhorst. I have managed to pick up some barrels and a little wood deck for it, which didn't cost me much, but I got this for free. Retail price 20 shekels. Yes, I've got to put it down, it's too big. So this is what's been going on. Despite my best efforts to not make the stash grow too much, and certainly not to spend money, well, not really spending that much, people are giving me kits. But that's okay. I mean, the whole idea was to save money, although that's all down the toilet since the apocalypse. I mean, since the apocalypse, all my savings gone basically. But I am working again now. I must say, if you're still struggling, if you're in lockdown where you are, then I feel for you, because we've come out of that finally, thank goodness, at least here in Queensland. And I'm working again. There's tons of work this week. The money's flying, which is good because I need it. I've run out of savings. I said I had all that money saved up to buy a house. Well, that's gone now. But it's okay. We're alive. That's good. You know, I had the dreaded apocalyptic kung flu, and I got through it. Yes. Okay, well that's it. So that's everything that was on my workbench. See, I have quite a bit to do, quite a bit to show you, and then all those new kits. And there will be a review, as I say, on that Perseverance, and there will be a build on that very, very soon. So that's it. That's everything I got to say. So that's goodbye from Australia, and it's hooroo from Harry Houdini.